Hello! This movie is about how to write formulas of ionic compounds. So here we have a name of an ionic compound, lithium sulfide. So what you have to do is look on your periodic table and you have to find these ions. So it was lithium sulfide. So there's lithium and here's sulfur right there. So next we have to write down what the charges are of these ions. So lithium, when you look on the periodic table, comes as +1. And sulfur is -2. Now we have to figure out how much of each ions we need in order for the compound to have no charge. So we have sulfur, which has a -2 charge. We will need another lithium ion because that way we'll have a +2 and that will cancel out the -2 in the sulfide. So this formula would be lithium. There's two lithiums, Li2S. Make sure that's a lowercase. 2. Another way you could do it is called the crisscross rule. But I want you to understand why the crisscross rule works. Crisscross rule, in that the fact that the charges have to cancel out to make a neutral compound. Lithium has a +1 charge. Sulfur has a -2 charge. What we do is we crisscross the numbers. So the 2 will go with the lithium, and the 1 will go with the sulfur. We don't write the 1, but we would write the 2. So that would be Li2S. Now that's lithium sulfide. Let's try another one. Let's say we had aluminum sulfate. Aluminum sulfate. Now the fact that sulfate ends in ATE and not "ide", that is a clue that you have to go to your table of polyatomic ions. So let's see if we can find the table of polyatomic ions and look for the sulfate. There it is, right there. And sulfate is SO4 with a -2. Aluminum has a +3 charge, and you'd find that on the periodic table. Right, where's aluminum? Aluminum is right here. Okay, so we've got to figure out how many ions we need of each in order for the charges to cancel out. So what number does 2 and 3 go into? That's the low, and that would be 6. So if I had 2 aluminums, that would give me a +6. And how many sulfates would I need to get a -6? 3 of them. That would give me a -6. So the way to write the formula to show that I have 2 aluminums and 3 sulfates, I need to use brackets to show I have 3 sulfates. Otherwise, I'd write Al2SO43, and I don't have 43 oxygens. I have 3 sulfates. You can use the crisscross rule with this one. Works most of the time. The 2 goes here, and the 3 goes there. So Al2SO43. When does the crisscross rule not work? If I had iron to oxide, iron 2, the charge is +2, oxygen is -2. Use the crisscross rule, that would be Fe2O2. And that's not quite right because you only need 1 of each. You could bring it down to lowest terms. It's actually FeO. Okay, so that would be the actual chemical formula. Let's try nickel 2 carbonate 8. So that's a clue coming from the polyatomic ion table. Nickel 2, the Roman numeral tells you which ion it is. Nickel comes in +2 and +3. Let's take a look. Here's nickel right there. And so with the Roman numeral 2, that means it's the nickel +2, not the one that's listed second. Okay, the Roman numeral 2 means it's +2. Roman numeral 3 would mean +3. Carbonate is CO3 with a -2. You look on your table of polyatomic ions. So how many do we need of each? Just 1. We don't use brackets if there's just 1 polyatomic ion. chemists just don't want to put brackets if there's more, if there's only one. It's easier, less to write. Notice if you tried the crisscross rule on this one, you would get 2 and a 2, which you'd have to bring down to lowest terms, nickel carbonate like that. So hopefully that will help you understand how to write formulas given the name of ionic compounds. There you go. See if I can get this to stop.